Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to tell you the real reason WWE spoiled Cody Rhodes' return.
Vince McMahon agrees a multi-million-dollar settlement with one of his accusers.
We'll talk about AEW not being allowed to run a bigger Jay Briscoe tribute on Dynamite.
And a backstage update on Naomi's WWE status. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
I used the word spoiled in the intro, a bit cheeky that, because they just announced it, didn't they? But yeah, the interesting stuff today coming out from WrestleVotes about Cody Rhodes and about the Royal Rumble. Of course, on this week's episode of Raw, Cody was formally announced for the men's match. That's after weeks of these really good vignettes. We kind of knew it was going in that direction, but it officially happened. He's in the men's match next Saturday. Yada, yada, yada.
It's next Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, baby.
Get in.
He's been out since June, when he tore his titty up pretty badly. But he's coming back. Why did they do this? Why did they announce him rather than just like keeping it as a surprise? First reason is because everybody knew he was going to be on the show.
Yeah.
According to WrestleVotes, which, yeah, it's fair. And the second one, I'll just read the tweet, shall I?
Go on, then.
Asked a source about the reasoning behind Cody's Rumble return being announced as opposed to a surprise. Source said it is twofold. One being that nearly everyone expected it to happen, and two, the source states that they are, WWE, more than pleased with the other surprises that are lined up. So it sounds like WWE have got some cool surprises lined up for the Rumble. We said this the other day, didn't we? We were like, hey, they probably announced him because there's some other ones.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I think you're right. We are obviously in the content game, but I think you chat to almost any wrestling fan and they were going, well, Cody's probably going to be one of the favourites for the Rumble, despite the fact, like you say, nothing had been said.
Yeah.
But people were like, I know my tit injuries, and he's going to be back in time for this. It just felt like the natural progression of things. And yeah, I think the moment even he got the injury and they said, what was it, like an 8-month thing? And people went, well, 8 months, but he's a wrestler and he's superhuman, so probably late January, wasn't it? So yeah, I think it's always going to be the case. But I do like the noises that are being made there in terms of that they're happy with other surprises. You know, off the top of your head, you could say maybe Edge is going to come back. Maybe you're going to get some like random celebrity appearances or legends or whatever.
Logan Paul.
I'll be happy, Andy, considering the debacle that was last year with just recognising themes.
Yeah, just music. I just want music. Like the Rumble match can be like a 2 out of 10 as long as I have music.
Yeah.
What a weird appraisal. There's some.
No, me neither.
What?
Love.
Oh, okay, cool. Talking to his watch.
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix, she'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ryback, obviously. A friend of the channel, Ryback.
Wade Barrett, we've said.
Yeah.
Come on.
There we go.
Come on, Stu, get in there.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
There's so much potential, but of course, if you want to know everyone who is going to be in the Royal Rumble, if you want it all spoiled for you, me and Andy have run through them in 2 different videos, which are stupid but a load of fun.
We're going to drop next week the dumbest Royal Rumble video you will see as well, so stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
There you go.
Right, before we move on to this next story, I should mention there's a content warning here. You obviously can assume what this is going to be about. It affects a lot of people talking about these issues, so if you want to skip past this, obviously the timestamps
Vincent
are in the
Rita
bottom.
Chatterton.
Exactly. So, per the Wall Street Journal, Vince McMahon has agreed a multi-million-dollar settlement with former WWE referee Rita Chatterton. Now, Rita, if you're unaware, claimed that Vince McMahon raped her in his limousine in 1986 after she refused to perform oral sex on him. In 1993, McMahon contended a lawsuit saying that this was a false claim and that she had been put up to it by a wrestler who Vince had irked. Then the lawsuit got dropped. Because he said he wants to focus on the steroid trial. And the reason everything came up again last year is because New York law recently opened a 1-year window where victims of sexual crimes are able to file lawsuits that would have previously been barred by the statute of limitations. In a follow-up to the story that we've reported on numerous times, obviously the thing that was the catalyst for Vince McMahon resigning in disgrace last year, Andy. In a new report, the Wall Street Journal has revealed a settlement between both parties was agreed and completed last month, with the settlement said to be not the full $11.75 million that was being sought, but a multi-million-dollar fee nonetheless. Rita will get an initial upfront before then receiving annual statements. Vince McMahon's lawyer, Jerry McDevitt, commented on it saying, Mr. McMahon denies and always has denied raping Ms. Chatterton, and he settled the case solely to avoid the costs of litigation. Your thoughts on this interesting new development?
It's 1980s, so this story has existed for a long time. Obviously, the Rita came forward like a while after that. Her name re-entered the conversation as, you know, when the new sets of accusations against Vince emerged last year.
Yes.
And that process began. I think a lot of younger fans would have probably been hearing her name maybe for the first time during that process, because it's very easy for people in power to bury these things and for them to not get brought up again. So, I'm not going to editorialize something like this.
No.
The Wall Street Journal's report speaks for itself. And Rita Chatterton, first female referee in WWE. There you go. That's the full breadth of it.
Yeah, if you want to read the full story, it's on our website, whatculture.com/WWE right now.
And we'll talk a little bit more about the Jay Briscoe situation. Of course, he tragically passed away on Tuesday. If you want to go back, you can check our video on the day. Simon Miller did a wonderful tribute to Jay as well. So AEW on this week's episode of Dynamite, there was some subdued stuff. They had the memorial graphic before Dynamite started. Bunch of wrestlers had armbands with Jay on them. Top Flight did like a doomsday, their version of a doomsday device with the nosedive instead, which the Briscoes did all the time. So there was like little bits and pieces here and there. And afterwards, of course, AEW taped Ring of Honor Jay Briscoe Celebration of Life show, which is due to air on Honor Club for free in the future. If you're wondering why there wasn't maybe a bit more on Dynamite itself, it's because they weren't allowed to. This report came out yesterday from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, and also PW Insider's Mike Johnson reported as well that AEW almost certainly wanted to do more, but their TV partners would have prevented them from doing so. Of course, Warner Brothers Discovery, that's AEW's television network, they're partners. Dynamite goes out on TBS, Rampage on TNT, all of that stuff. Seems like they put the kibosh on that. So, you know the situation with Warner Brothers and the Briscoes. It was reported last year. I believe it was Fightful who came through with the report, stating that a higher up at the network had decreed that the Briscoes couldn't appear on AEW television or on that network because of Jay's previous tweets in 2013 that he had obviously publicly apologized for many times. I think, look, this is a really delicate thing. I think for me, right, we are, I'll repeat this, we made this point the other day. We are not the people who would be, demonized by the word that was used.
We're not in that position.
So, I'm not going to tell anyone how they should think about this at all, with regards to their stance on that. That being said, I think in the situation we have here, where dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of his peers have given testimonials to the effort that Jay had gone to educate himself and learn and grow. Obviously, that doesn't make up for saying these things, but it seems from these testimonials that he had put the work in and he had recognized where he was wrong and that he had grown from them. And you have to give people the opportunity to do that.
Yes.
Given the tragic nature of it, I think it's pretty whack that the network wouldn't allow this thing, particularly...
Yes, you're about to hit the nail on the head.
As has been raised in this office by the Michaels and yourself yesterday, and on the podcast as well, I believe. On that show, you're advertising Dana White's slap fight, which is unprotected concussion machine, inviting people to hit you in the face and perhaps cause serious injury and stuff. I think this is really whack. I don't agree with it at all. I'm glad that we're getting the Ring of Honor tribute show.
Yes.
And I'm glad that, according to Dave on Wrestling Observer Radio, there are further plans to honor Jay, because it's a really tragic situation. Those are my thoughts on the situation. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to think or anything like that, but come on.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to only really echo what you said there. We're not going to sit here and say, well, he apologised and he's tried to make good on it. That's that. Like you said, that's not our call to make.
Sure.
But it's the hypocrisy of it all that really pissed me off. It's sad as well, obviously, that it's taken Jay's passing to have for some people to really notice what a sensational talent and the legacy that he leaves behind. But yeah, like you say, let's focus on the positives here. Really excited to see that celebration of life, and there's been, I was going to say, some lovely images that I've seen or clips already. Not lovely, touching.
Yeah, and we'll mention as well that the fundraiser has been launched.
Yes.
With the blessing of Jay's family. He's survived by his wife Ashley, son Gannon, and his two daughters Jaylee and Gracie, who were injured in the accident as well, underwent surgery. That's been launched. We have a link to it on our site. There's a write-up there. At the time I published the article, in under a day, it was at $170,000. Wow. Target is $200,000. If you're able to spare anything, you'll find the link on our site. For me, the overwhelming thing here is that his children have lost their father. His wife has lost her husband. His brother has lost his brother. His mum and dad have lost their kid. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, man. It's really tough.
Awful week this week. Seems a bit glib to now be talking about something else, but I'll just fill you in on developments with Naomi. A great report from Fightful Select reporting that Naomi, or people within WWE, the higher-ups, are hopeful that Naomi will return to WWE at some point. There has been contact between the two parties, WWE and Naomi, since obviously she walked out with the former Sasha Banks. Well, she wasn't technically the former Sasha Banks then. Yeah. Sasha Banks back in May, of course. Interesting stuff about the contract of Naomi as well, because Fightful Select also reported that at the time of the walkout, Naomi's WWE contract was expiring, but there was mutual interest in a renewal. Noises like this would seem to suggest potentially they've come to an agreement on that. I just want to see Naomi back in a wrestling ring, Andy.
Yeah, sounds like things are still very much in the balance. I noticed Fightful reporting that it was probably going to be the biggest money deal of Naomi's career up to that point as well. I really admire people who know their worth and stand up for themselves in difficult situations, and Naomi and Sasha in that situation are no different whatsoever.
And also people who stand up to really bad booking.
Yeah, it was good to see her supporting Mercedes in Japan alongside Bailey the other week. So that was nice to see. Yeah, I'd love to see her just back somewhere, because I really enjoy Naomi. I really enjoy her work. I really enjoy her personality.
And not only that, she's one of the only stars whose theme I actually recognise.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a good theme as well. Yeah. I've seen a lot of dumb takes about
No, surely not.
Yeah, not on the internet. Mercedes did this. She cost her loads of money, and it's friends. She was there in Japan supporting her. I don't think Naomi's mad at Mercedes.
And they're not joined at the hip.
They're not codependents.
No.
I want to see her back. I think she's great, and whether it's in WWE or Japan or literally anywhere, just
hopefully, if she does go back to WWE, it's not going to be quite the same and comparable here. People will really recognise what they've got now. When it's probably not to the same level, but when Roman came back and people were like, "Oh, you're great."
Yeah, that's right.
That, but with Naomi, good for her. Would love to see her in the Rumble. I think it'd get a huge pep. But we'll wait and see. And whatever she does, like you say, I hope she's just happy.
And whatever she does is probably going to kick ass.
Yeah, so exactly.
Bring it on.
Right, let's move on to your questions. We didn't do the silly ones today. Doesn't feel appropriate. But we took these from our YouTube community page. First question today comes from Rose of Sharon 100, who writes, do you think WWE's attempt to make the lesser titles relevant worked or is working? The US title contenders is getting a bit stale, in my opinion, writes Rose of Sharon. Who's a total wild card they could bring in to give it more of a push?
Nice kill switch engage reference there in the name. That's my childhood. That's my adolescence. I think they've been very successful with the Intercontinental title in particular. That feels big. That feels important. And I think if they do go through with the reported plan of Brock challenging for it, great. They've done a great job with Gunther in general. He feels really huge, and I can only commend them for that. The US title, to an extent, I don't think quite to the same level.
No.
Talking about staleness, I agree. I think they've had the same kind of pairings quite a lot recycled there, but I think you can rectify that quite easily by, like you say, bringing in a new face, someone who could mix it up in there. So I'm going to go with someone who did a tremendous job with the secondary title, if you will, in NXT, and go with Carmelo Hayes. I think you bring him and Trick up
the A champion.
Yeah, it's an immediate burst of someone new. and you can mix it up a bit. I love Big Bob Lashley, and I think Seth is one of the best wrestlers in WWE. The scene's it's decent. It's better than it was.
Yes.
It could be freshened up a little.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the Rumble, those three. One of them, if you're going to have one of them have the championship, probably Bobby, because they're
Large Robert.
look at him and they're doing the Hurt Business stuff. Then just send all the others off far in different directions.
Do something else.
I've seen
for a
every
while.
every possible permutation of that. I love the Carmelo Hayes. Either that or maybe
There you go. He could buy a title shot.
But
He's
yeah,
rich, isn't he?
Pat McAfee. I don't care.
Pat
I just want to
McAfee.
see him back wrestling.
All right.
But yeah, the IC title has been different gravy.
Here's a weird one. John Cena.
Do they use gravy in Austria? Let us know if you're in Austria.
What? I don't know what. Let's go.
Yeah.
Arnie.
They must have it.
Let
They
us know.
must.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same. Let us know if you're in Austria.
What does Marcel?
Are you different gravy? Do you use different gravy?
About? I don't know what this is.
John Cena, you were saying.
Yeah, he'd be fun.
Yeah.
Do him as a one-off
Yeah.
in the US title because he got this.
And he could pop it on the back of his head to cover his bald spot. Mike's Place gives us our second question of
Embrace
the
it,
day.
John.
Oh, imagine if you got hair
Embrace it.
plugs.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
Heel
done.
turn,
I'm
instantly.
done.
Final heel turn.
He
for John
made some
Cena.
comments last year about various nations that were pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah.
With 2 Rumbles to book now, writes Mike's Place, do you think they will ever make the Royal Rumble a 2-night event so each Rumble can main event a night? There's quite a few questions in the community page about multi-night pay-per-views for WWE. What other ones? I think this would make the most sense out of everything that they do.
Second biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would make more sense. Like, if you were going to do a 2-nighter, the Rumble would be the one, I think, for them, because theoretically you'd sell the most tickets across 2 nights. For me, personally, nah.
No.
I like the Rumble in its current form. Like, to me, the Rumble in its current format is just a breeze to watch because you have the one Battle Royal, you have 3 or 4 matches. It's nice. It's like an hour
Mountain
and a
Dew pitch
half.
black match, traditions.
Yeah, the classics. And then you have another one, and the Rumbles are usually great. So I like the current format, but I agree that if they were going to switch it up, this is the one they would do. I just hope they don't, because honestly, I would take like 4 Royal Rumbles in one show. I just love it. I love it.
Yeah, look, they did a battle royal on NXT just the other week, and I'm still very eager for next Saturday. Like you say, if they have to make another WWE Premium Live event 2 nights, I'd pick the Rumble.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with WrestleMania was it was just getting so big because everyone has to get on the card, and you can't unless you put people in. Or everyone in the Andre the Giant match, not everyone can get on the WrestleMania, or you couldn't previously get on the WrestleMania card. Like you say, the Rumble's different. You top and tail the show, and you chuck 3 either feuds or mid-card title matches. It's really easy.
Real
Don't
simple.
change it.
Why would you do that?
Top and tail it like it's gonna be banger after banger on this premium live event on Saturday. Next Saturday, Rhea Ripley, the Mountain Dew pitch black match. Cody Rhodes, send everyone home happy.
It's just like, you have something perfect, you don't mess with the recipe. Like, can you imagine if Pepsi Max messed with the superior drink to every Coke product? Obviously,
That might be our most controversial take ever.
It might be, because people are going to hate that. But it's true, man. Like Coke Zero is whack.
I'm more of a fan of Panda Cola.
Panda Pops.
Panda Pops.
Have you ever seen Murray Cup from Scotland? It's not nice. No.
Guess what I mean?
No.
Final question today comes from Lee Lower, who writes, "Morning legends, morning Lee. I hope you're both well. I was in the pub the other night when SmackDown came on the TV. My friends asked why I watched this as it's, quote, obviously fake. Predetermined, but yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say when people say this, as it always winds me up but can never reply with
So
a good
easy.
answer?
So this is the greatest answer of all time.
But then we can't believe we've never answered this question.
Brother, pretend you're a non-wrestling fan and tell me it's fake.
Andy, what are you watching that for? It's clearly fake.
What's your favourite movie?
Mission Impossible.
It's fake. What's your favourite TV show?
Game of Thrones.
It's fake.
Oh my god.
It's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
None of this stuff is real. No one is going around Westeros with a sword trying to kill zombie hobbits or whatever it is. Like, everything's fake, brother. Everything on TV is fake.
But also, he can take everything down. Like, I love pro wrestling, but I also love football.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, it's just 22 men running around on a pitch. Yeah, it is, but it's also pretty good.
It's the drama that comes with it. Yeah, like, that's the thing. I think a lot of people who don't watch wrestling and want to dismiss it as fake or whatever, think that we think it's, like, not scripted and stuff, which is, like, a base level of ignorance towards it. Yeah, that's my answer literally every single time someone goes, you know, it's fake, right? Yeah, so it's Breaking Bad. I love that. Tony Soprano wasn't a real guy, man. Yeah. Like the Night King did not exist. No. To me, it's exactly that. Like, no one who watches wrestling thinks it's real. The art of wrestling is removing is the suspension of disbelief and making you buy into the drama of it. That's the craft, that's the art. It's no different to any state, you know, the bumps are different, obviously, but it's no different to going to the theatre or watching your favourite TV show or watching a movie. That's how I would answer it. Ask them what their favourite TV show is and then tell them that's fake as well, because someone wrote that in a room too. It's like...
What's your favourite TV show? Big Brother. Oh, bollocks.
Yeah. Well,
it's still effectively predetermined.
Some sports are at work as well, to be fair.
Look, just like you say, just let people enjoy it. Some people like pro wrestling, some people like UFC that isn't predetermined.
Some people like Ryback. People have weird
Dungeons
tastes.
and Dragons. Like, why do you watch that wrestling? It's all fake and it's a load of nonsense. Why do you like God of War?
I played Warhammer when I was a kid, man. That was fake as well.
I play Dungeons and Dragons now.
Space Marines don't exist. No. Like, it's fine, man. It's fine. Like, Pikachu's not a real dude.
Well.
You know? Well, Snorlax is a real dude in a different level. But yeah, that's how I answer
I think Snorlax works in our office.
Snorlax kicks.
Let's move on to today's and finally. Feel free to guess who that might be in the comment section. Didn't say it was wrestling team. Could be anyone. Let's move on to today's and finally. And just a lovely bit of news to end the week with, Andy. It's been a crap week, like you say.
It's been, to be frank, terrible, yeah.
But massive congratulations to Sean Spears and Cassie Lee on the birth of their newborn, Austin J, which they posted on Instagram, the news they posted on Instagram. Congratulations.
Good for them.
Lovely stuff, and a lovely couple by all accounts.
Two people living good lives. Happy for them. Good people by all accounts. Great stuff.
Exactly. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dudley Boys sitting down to preview SmackDown and Rampage. We've got WrestleCulture with the hashtag Bloody Good Quiz. We're going to be talking about the greatest NXT call-up ever in the coming few days and what needs to happen on Raw Triple X next week. Thoughts, Twitter questions, all that good stuff for the lads who do the news at the weekend at WhatCulture WWE on Twitter. Watch there, follow both of us. Follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for have a peaceful weekend.
Yeah.
You probably deserve it.
Absolutely. Follow me
unless you're Vince McMahon.
On Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.